Welcome, everyone, to Becoming Awesome. I'm your co host, Ray Thomas. This is season three, where we will be featuring fellow AWS Twitch hosts and delve deeper into their innovative and fascinating premise of their shows and the value their audience can gain from being a weekly live audience member. Last week, we had Dr. Tristan Wadi from Security SideQuest as our featured guest, where we uncovered the value he and his show brings to anyone in the beginning or intermediate stages of their cloud journey with a focus on security. This second episode will feature the show owners of Build On Weekly. And if I had to be a betting man, I think their show can provide incredible value to anyone in the tech community who is a true builder and may need a little help building a solution that helps them in their day to day at work or even personally with live keyboard coding. So Build On Weekly airs right here on AWS's Twitch channel every Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific time. And without further ado, I give you my awesome co-host, Jenna last to kick it off with introductions.
Thanks, Ray. Behind the scenes, that's what this is about. So let's have some fun. This is a real treat. It's a real treat for us, Ray, I think, to get to know fellow show owners better, and an even better treat for the audience to get to know these amazing streamers as human beings. So if you're followers of Build On, then definitely take advantage of this. Ask them anything. They are an open book today. We promise. So let's start with intros in case there's anybody that hasn't followed the show yet and have interest in the topic. We have Darko and Jacquie here. They are both senior developer advocates. Please introduce yourself. Who would like to go first?
Let's go with Jacquie.
Me. I was like, okay, that's me. Hello, friends. Hi, I'm Jacquie Grunrod, and I am based in Vancouver, Canada. And as mentioned, I'm a senior developer advocate here at AWS. And before that, I was a DevOps engineer, hotly debated title, for about 5 or 6 years. I mostly worked in Canadian health tech. And yeah, I play a lot of video games, do a lot of reading, pretty much anything fantasy sci-fi. I think I've read like 60 books since Christmas at this point. I forget. It's been a lot. It's been like my running fun fact. And yeah, what else to say? I mean, I co-host a live show with Darko. It's a lot of fun, and every single week we build something new, we learn something new, and we get to do it with all of you. So that's great. How about you, Darko?
Well, I'm not Jacquie. That's the thing. But a lot of the things that Jacquie says, I can say the same thing. My name is Darko, as they say, Darko Mesaros. I am what they used to call a long time ago a systems administrator. Yes, I'm the guy who loves to automate things, fix servers, rack and stack, and walk around the premises with a screwdriver. However, I've seen the light, and I moved to the cloud. And now I get to yell into the void of this camera for money, and I am a developer advocate with Jacqueline at AWS. If you ask me what's my thing is computers. Has always been computers, no matter the age of the computer. I love them, so you will see me, try to do modern things, hopefully, but also try to do weird old things. But yeah, that's basically me. And thank you for joining the show. I see that one dev guy. Welcome to the live stream. I don't know if anybody else has anybody in the chat watched our show before.
Yeah, I'd love to know that.
Yeah. Or is this completely new to you?
Yeah, and where are you located?
Yes.
Yeah, well, we need to woo them over to your show. So why don't we just talk a little bit about the premise of your show and what's really going on during that time.
Yeah, who started it? Like, who thought about it first? Was it you, Darko?
So, okay. The entire premise of a Build On show started with we do a lot of live streaming content here on this channel, right? You may have been watching some other shows as well. And we decided, you know what? How about we do a show which solely focuses on building? And when I say building, I mean trying to do stuff with technology. Instead of having a specific show, let's talk about containers, or let's talk about cost optimization or networking. There are all those shows with specified kind of goals. We decided, you know what, let's do some random stuff, and we're going to use kind of some of our experience and knowledge to do stuff, right? Chuck! Hey, Chuck, look at that. We know Chuck. We know Kevin. We know that one dev guy. So we all know of you. Thank you so much. And we built the show. I came up with the idea to Jacquie, saying, Jacquie, how about we do some content on it? Of course, the goal was to be confident. The goal was to be correct. We don't want to talk about something we don't know to an extent. And it kind of birthed like, let's do this kind of a more relaxed, still educational, still informative, a bit entertaining show on Twitch. And that happened like a year ago-ish.
It was my first week at Amazon. It was so much fun because we were just getting to know each other and we were talking about like what kind of things do you like to create and stuff like that. And we both landed on Twitch and how we both had a history. I actually started streaming on Twitch back when it was Justin TV in like around, I don't know, my Twitch account says 2011, but it was really fun because we were just sitting there and he was like, I have this idea for like a live stream.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna build some stuff. And I just was like, oh my God, me too. Like I would love to do that. Please let me join you on this adventure. And yeah, now we've done like, I think almost like 40 episodes since then.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
it's been a ride. It's been a ride.
It's been everything. We've talked about data, we talk about security, we talk about operations and different like development frames. We're currently doing actually like machine learning. So it's been like, I don't know, I love it. And I love that we always get to build these things like with our audience. Like, as you can see, we've got like Chuck and Kevin here and, you know, we just get to do all these things with them and it's really fun.
We're trying to do machine learning. I just want to make sure we're not really doing machine learning because we don't know.
We're not
And
machine
also,
learning experts.
and that's also one of the points like behind our show. Like we position ourselves as knowledgeable people in technology. Of course, we have experience. We've been around the block, as they say. However, we are not the ultimate experts on this. This is where we get you, the wonderful chat, and you, the wonderful community, on our shows. We get somebody in, they come and talk to us about something really smart. Or if we don't get anybody as guests, we just try to figure it out, like most of you do it in the chat, right? So thank you, Kevin. Thank you so much. Kevin, the super fan, Kevin. Kevin has been on our show twice. I think he's the only person who's been on our show twice. So Kevin, as always, much appreciated. Much appreciated. Here's a comment from
Yeah.
Karek, how much time do you spend researching a thing to build? Do I lie now? Or I'm sorry. Okay. So the thing we do, you know what? Bring up the screen share. Come on, look at this. Look at that chat. This thing that you see me scrolling by is the feedback you all give us. When I politely ask you to submit the survey at the end of each show, this is what we get. We basically get a bunch of comments and ideas what you folks would love us to show. And based off this and some other internal alignments, we go ahead and, okay, cool. There's been a lot of requests to do some basic Linux stuff or networking stuff or security stuff. And based off of that, we just take an idea, Jack and I brainstorm it for a second. Can we do this? Cool, let's go with it. So that is kind of how we function. If I want to put a time to it, I would say at least a month ahead we plan the shows. So yeah, that's kind of how it works. But this is why it's important to any show, not just our show, but this show as well. Please tell us the truth in the surveys. It's a thing we care about, and that's how we kind of write our shows. But Jackie has also examples of people influencing our shows. Do you, Jackie?
Yes. Okay. I was going to add on that as terms of like time to research and prepare, it largely depends too. Like sometimes we have other people that are kind of bringing things that they want to build or stuff they've worked on, and we're going to work through it together. And so that might be a couple of like, you know, meetings in advance where we might talk about it. Maybe we'll dry run some of it and see how it's going before we build it live. Sometimes it's things like Jackie learned machine learning in 4 to 6 hours as best she could and built hot dog or not hot dog. And that was an episode that took 6 hours of research and prep to be able to kind of get that one out there, just as like that behind the scenes kind of answer. And then, you know, there's other things we do too. Like we've got this landing page that we're going to be able to start pointing you towards. We're working on like show notes we're going to share. So there's other things that kind of go on behind the scenes of the show to make sure that we're giving that like experience that we want you to be able to have and share with us. But yeah, otherwise, like I've received DMs from people that have watched our show in terms of like whether they've liked the topic or what they think they want us to do more. I've gotten lots of messages from people that are like, hey, like, you know, it was really cool that you did this thing. I got to learn it. I think I'm like trying to think of like, what's a good example I can use? When I'll use an Amazon example, so I'm not calling out any viewers. When we did CloudFormation and Jackie was learning CloudFormation live because I've done Terraform for like 5 years, but not CloudFormation. We actually had like the VP of product who CloudFormation is under watched our show. And so it was like, oh, he was like actually watching me learn it live, where I'm sitting there like, okay, you know, I'm expecting it to work this way or that way. And this is, you know, just talking through my thought process. And it's been really interesting to like just have that kind of direct impact with people in and outside of Amazon and get that feedback back. And yeah, it's just been cool. Right. The specific feedback I received was that it was very humanizing to watch us actually learn it live and see what the users are going through when they go through the docs and everything. So
the
yeah.
question in the chat is, do you guys also post your projects as well, or no?
So we when you say post your projects, I guess you're talking here about, do we put stuff on GitHub or something like that, or do we do our projects? Do we talk about our private projects? Yeah, sometimes we do. I think we had an episode where I was talking about how I built a container cluster with laptops. So we talked about that. And when we post our projects, what we are trying to do, friends, is we're trying to create a place where you can go and kind of get all of the show notes for every episode. So I'm going to paste the link in the chat. So the gentleman that's going to paste the link in the chat right now on Twitch that's me. That is the link where you can find the show notes for previous episodes. However, not for all previous episodes. We're trying to catch up.
We're working on it.
Yeah, but that's going to be the main place where you can go and like catch up on all of the things. That's where all the recordings of our streams are going to be, all the code we're going to share, all the links. So if you missed an episode, you go there, check the last episode, find what we did, and check all the links and check the video if you want. So yes.
Sure. So all right. So this is all new for me. So I'm really trying to understand what your show is about. I haven't had a chance to watch it ahead. So gut check me that I'm actually listening well and that my ears are really wide open today and my brain is actually processing. So you build things live and it's your first time doing it. You're learning how to do it online so other people can kind of see the thought process of how you go about building things or learning things for the first time.
Jackie, I'll let you answer
sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes we do stuff that we're actually like experts in. Like both of us have like a heavy like a sysadmin kind of operations background. So when we do things that are about like in my case, if I do like containers or orchestration, this is stuff that I have like an extensive history with. But sometimes we're doing it as it's like something that we're learning from an expert live, or we're trying to do a tutorial together for the first time. But so always it is kind of that element, of like learning together and like bringing chat in with us to kind of go on that journey with us and learn together too.
Yeah. So it sounds like it's improv, which means it doesn't really require much prep.
Yeah. So there is sometimes a bit of that. So there's been situations where we've done stuff completely blind. I know Jackie learns that CloudFormation was just that, where Jackie was just we had was it Matteo? I forgot the gentleman's name. And Matteo was on our show, and he was basically teaching Jackie how to do CloudFormation as a guest. So I'll come back to that question from that one dev guy in a second. But for some things, as Jackie said, we prepare. But there's been examples like, okay, let's do it, and let's figure it all out as we go. Because, hey, chat, that's what most of us do, right? When you get a task, you just figure it out. And I think it's unfair to a lot of developers out there and a lot of builders to kind of show perfect examples of things working all the time, because that's not the real experience. So we kind of hope to bring you that. However, we do have only 1 hour. And within the span of an hour, we cannot do a lot of things.
Mm-hmm. So do you ever have like part 2 then, if you don't complete a task or a project on one show? Will you have like a cliffhanger sort of suspension and you have to wait till next week to get to the solution?
So we had it once, but it wasn't really a cliffhanger. It's just because there were so much things to cover and we just didn't do it. Mm-hmm. I'm not a huge fan of doing cliffhanger episodes, because what happens is people who join the next time and they haven't seen the first episode, they just don't want to watch it anymore. So we're trying to kind of scope down the things we do to fit within an hour. Mm-hmm. And the only episode that we kind of split in two is we went through the basics of Linux and Bash. Thank you, Chuck, in the chat, who provided that as a suggestion, and that was split into 2 parts, which actually wasn't one after the other. There was a week in between with something else. So, but that was that's evergreen content. Doesn't matter if you joined the first time or the second time, you still get to learn things.
Do you have a butt heads?
Did we?
I'm looking for some drama. Come on, give me some drama.
I don't think we've like seriously had like a butt heads moment, but we have a couple playful moments where like we'll argue about which editor we use or which language we want to do something in, but not usually like very seriously. Like I don't think we've ever hit a point where we were just like really at odds about something.
And to the point of that one, the question is: would you consider having on the show non-AWS employees, people that are doing cool things with? Absolutely. Rishabh Kumar in the chat, they were on the show as well. We have Daniel and a few other folks this season. So we try to get folks from outside of AWS who want to do stuff. So if you folks have a great thing you want to build with us on the stream, or actually teach us how to build, we'd be happy to do so.
I was going to ask, was there ever a time when an audience member came in and shared something really cool where you learned from them?
Oh,
Yes.
all the time. Yeah.
All the time. That happens more than we like to say.
Give me one example of something that really stood out that you both were like, wow, I didn't know that, and that's really impactful.
Jackie, you want to share the Chuck's story?
Oh, that's not what I was going to go with. I was actually thinking of the machine learning episode with Hot Dog or Not Hot Dog. That was a good one because, like I said, I basically crash course learned it in like 4 to 6 hours and was doing my best to basically be like, here's what I've learned. We're going to do this together, and I don't want to like lead you astray on this topic. And we had 3 different machine learning experts who kind of dropped in, and here and there they'd like weigh in, and they'd be like, oh, because I'd be like, okay, I know that like, maybe if I change these values, it will change the output, but I don't necessarily know why because I haven't learned it that deeply yet. And they would kind of chime in with like, oh yeah, if you change it for this reason, this is what it actually does, and you can find out more in like this link. Actually, Kevin's in chat, and Kevin is a great example of somebody who he always like just has the best links and supplements like what we're teaching. Like we'll kind of touch on something, and then he'll be like, for more people that want to know about this, like he just always has like the next link or the next place to go to like supplement what we're talking about, and it's great.
And what about the reverse where, something you taught was super impactful and they came back with one of the feedback that they shared saying, hey, this is what it really did for us as a company or anything? Do you have a specific case around that?
I'm wondering, like, I'm looking to see if I have a specific example. But a lot of the things that people kind of come to us is when we show them really neat tools. For example, Kevin here that's saying that he learned doing the Apache Hudi episode. Same. But a lot of people actually who came to the episode where Kevin was on learned about something called Mermaid.js, which is a way to create graphs using just code. So basically writing diagrams as code, which is just fascinating. So usually when we give people a nugget of information, here's a thing you can use. Here's the thing that can make your day better. That's usually when we get like a feedback. Thank you so much for showing me tool X, Y, and Z. And that's why I say when we talk to people, when you show sometimes, it's the little things that make a change. Just hey, check out this open source tool. Hey, check out this way I do stuff. And that's usually what people kind of go back home with. We can't solve enterprise problems. We can help you implement DevOps. We can help you transition from a monolith to a microservices application. We can show you things that can help you in like kind of on a day-to-day stuff, or maybe at least inspire you to try other things. And that's usually the feedback we've gotten.
And I just want to point out too that specific episode, Darko now has tons of docs that have mermaid graphs in them.
Yeah, I'm living
all over the place now. Like that's an example of something that we learned for an episode, and now it is actually in our day-to-day.
Yeah.
It's there all the time now.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Like the Chuck saying, security shows and tracing special. Yeah, of course. We did have so to the point of Chuck. So Build on Weekly is our show, right? The show that Jackie and run every week. Thursdays, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern, 6 p.m. Central European time. But we also run these special events like security events, or we did an event on observability. We did an event on data and analytics. And coming June 22nd, we're going to have an event on machine learning. So these are like big old whole day 6-hour events where we also get a lot more people to come in and build stuff with us, a lot more smarter people than Jackie and myself. So that's also been quite impactful. And again, we're always looking for ideas. We're always looking for guests. So we don't have an official way to kind of legally get your names in our show, because there's a whole process about getting your submissions from outside legal, private information, yada, yada, yada. But if you're interested in participating in our shows and have a great thing you want to show us, or at least teach us how to build, you can always reach out to Jacqueline and myself on the Twitters. on social media, LinkedIn, MySpace, Facebook, whatever you find us. It's okay.
You said MySpace.
Yeah, of course, MySpace. Yeah.
What? I know you like collecting old things because of your. I know you like collecting old things, but even like old school like social media sites, that one most people forgot about.
Friendster, and MySpace and ICQ. So
Yeah.
Yeah, you obviously have, so both of you have so much passion for what you do. It oozes, and you love it, and people love you, and it's I think that's a sign of success. Now, if you could teach me to even spell technology, that would be another sign of success. So yeah, I mean, when you're not doing these shows and learning and preparing and doing events, how else are you spending your time here at AWS? Is it all that, or is this a side job and you have another job?
Well, I'll go first for this one. We do other stuff too. Like I just wrote this I think 8,000 words about DevOps in blog posts. So I'll drop that here. One of them, and then I'll find the other one too in a second. But we even when we're not on the stream, we're still usually finding other ways to teach people and share our experiences. So we've been dabbling with short video. Darko just started this whole TikTok he's got going on. We've got blog posts. Sometimes we're also teaching other Amazonians how to do stuff like this. So we've been doing, Darko's been running the live video certification program for quite a while now, and I've just come in to start helping him with that as another instructor. Just basically we do a lot of stuff with it. It's kind of our day-to-day job now, so it's pretty cool. But everything else I would say is kind of the side job. The blog posts are kind of the side thing that they help with the live stream. So
Jackie, you said everything in your background behind you has a meaning. Is there something back there that has the most meaning to you?
Oh, that's a hard question. I would say probably the most relevant one here would be the Poro. There we go, that Poro. The most relevant one to this stream and our discussions at least. And that one I got at the League of Legends World Championships, which one of our colleagues, Banjo, built out a data science game day. And then I got to go and kind of host the live stream for that and actually attend League of Legends World Championships last year, in the stadium, watch the game. And I think that was one of the most incredible experiences I've had in my career, because I was a huge gamer. I originally paid my rent streaming and playing World of Warcraft. I was US 19th at one point.
Wow.
So being able to go and see how far the esports industry has come in the last 10 years, it was just incredible. I was on cloud nine the whole time, and we got to talk to people who are just learning data science for the first time. And we did this the whole game day was he built a win prediction model to see who was going to win League of Legends based on game data. And it was really cool. So yeah, that Poro, it was my takeaway from that. I've got the hat somewhere over there too. And it was just such an incredible experience. Yeah, I'm it was really cool. So
very cool. And Darko,
I've seen,
Darko, I've seen some of your quirky videos as well with really old school technology or gaming consoles. And can you share something that you may have within arm's reach that would be really interesting?
So I was contemplating, should I rotate my camera and show you a collection behind me? There's a lot of old things. Can I do that? Okay.
Yes, this is behind the scenes, please.
So literally behind the scenes. I'm going to yell a bit. So one of the things that some people may know me for is I collect a lot of old computers. I have a whole reason why I do that, but if I go here and I turn around my camera slightly, you will see a bunch of.
Wow.
Let me see if I can do this. So this is an Apple II GS. This is an original IBM PC. iMac G4 with its monitor. Here's a G5 Mac. Here's a Core 2 Duo Mac. That's the Amiga 500. This is the Amiga 600. This is the eMac. There's a lot of consoles here on the bottom. You don't see them, but I have a collection of these things, and it's not I just buy them to put them on the shelf. All of these things work. I fix them all. So I have a really big passion to kind of fix these things and make them do weird things. So for example, deploying AWS infrastructure from a Commodore 64, or I don't know, playing an Intellivision console of weirdness. I don't know. So it is become a kind of a passion and an obsession of mine, I would rather say. But that's the thing I do when I don't do work. It takes my mind off of things. But sometimes I like to sprinkle in work in it as well. So I'm going to post the link in the chat right now, similar to what Jackie did. She wrote a blog post on DevOps. I wrote a blog post on Kubernetes, and here's a way I deploy the Kubernetes cluster using the TRS 80 Model 100. The Undead Scroll, did you bring that collection? Some of it. I actually, most of my collection is US collection, which is kind of okay because most of my European computers don't work here anymore. Like my Amigas just don't like US power supply. And I live in the US now, Algebra 97. I moved like a year and a half ago. So I have a full garage of old computers.
It's true. He gave me a tour, and I was like, we were just there for, I don't know, like a couple hours, like just like looking at different things. It was fantastic.
Oh, maybe we'll have to do another episode of touring the garage.
So there's unfortunately even more things now than you've seen, Jackie. So I can't park my car anymore inside.
No.
My latest addition to my collection is something completely out of left field. It is a mini computer. Does anybody in chat know what a mini computer is? If you use the mini computer, I hope you took your back medicine. So a mini computer is an old computer from the 1970s. They were basically mainframes for the office. So I bought a 1976 Data General Eclipse, which is like a huge rack of computers. It's a computer that it's very old. It actually used to belong to the U.S. government, so I even have an asset tag, property of the U.S. government. So yeah, that's my latest thing. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but it is going to eat a lot of power in my garage.
So what do you have your eye on? What's next? What are you scouting out for?
So I have a and again this is very old. I have a 1984 Hewlett Packard workstation. It's a HP 9000 workstation. I'm trying to make it whole because it kind of has different elements, different accessories which I don't have. So I'm trying to kind of find each of these to make a fully functional, complete HP 9000 Model 200. So that's my thing. It is very difficult to get those things because they're not quite common, and especially because they're quite cumbersome. It's expensive and fragile to ship. So it's been.
Well, here's your time to galvanize your fans. You have people here that can maybe help you source these things.
Yes.
Maybe that's more important than the Kubernetes doc.
Kubernetes,
you should put a shopping list out and have people source things for you.
Send me all. I did have a friend, because of they know what I do. They basically told me, "Oh, I have a guy who wants to throw like a pallet of old computers." I'm like, "No, don't do that." So I paid for shipping, and I got like a whole lot of computers. So thank you, friend. You know who you are.
So I know we only have just less than 2 minutes left. So I want to leave it up to both of you to share any more information. If you want to drop the links one more time, as far as where they can find you, how they can contact you, know what the future show's premise will look like, etc., so they can join. But last parting words, Darko and Jacquie.
So what I want to say is check the link in the chat. I just posted it. It is the link to our basically landing page. You can find links to old episodes. Check us every Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific. This week specifically, we're going to be doing. What are we going to be doing this week, Jackie?
Well, I was typing my social media handles, but we're going to be doing something about machine learning. Right. We were going to go through Banjo's workshop. So Banjo
Correct.
just released a 2-hour workshop that we're going to go through, and we're going to do it live. Yes.
Thank you.
My brain has completely blanked on what it is currently, but I looked at it yesterday and it was fun. So
it is a generative AI workshop. So that expect that this Thursday. So absolutely, that's a thing you need to come and check out. I want to thank Jenna and Ray for having us in this show. I remember when we first discussed this. Again, we don't usually do a show about ourselves. We do a show about you, the wonderful audience. So Ray and Jenna, thank you so much for having us. I think it's amazing that we get to share this story. I wish this was longer so we can talk more. But yeah.
Well, we just have to have you back.
The show is about the humans, as we led with. But you know what? You both show how human you are on your show, so you didn't even really need us.
Yeah.
I know.
But it is really fun to get that opportunity to come and talk a bit behind the scenes, because it's nice.
Yes,
it is nice.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, thank you all. Really appreciate the time, and look forward to hopefully have you back in future.
We'd
Let
love
us know.
to.
Yeah.
This way.
Bye,
There we go.
everyone.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.